Hello, this will be a video on my CSE 110 software engineering Android project. Um, it was a quarter long project. We had 6 people on the team. We were designing a fitness app. We ended up getting an A overall. So let's go ahead and jump into the design of the database and the flow of how it works kind of behind the scenes. This was the first time I dealt with a database, and I was actually the lead for the design and implementation. It was a lot of Google searching stuff, Stack Overflow, and reading a lot of documentation. So maybe this will help some future people when they're designing their database. Um, so let me just show you what we were tasked with and how we fulfilled those two requirements with some scenarios. Let me provide you with, that specific task was design a fitness app that has a team feature. To clarify, a user could invite other users to a team. So there would be invitations in the form of notifications where you could accept or decline a team invite, or oh yeah, and then a team screen where you could view all your teammates. What I want to show you is the cloud system, how it was set up, and how we communicate between multiple devices. Showing you this database from the Firebase console. Okay, so this is what's known as the console for Firebase. This is where you actually view your database online. It's kind of like, the remote. All the devices communicate to this to get updated or whatever it may be. As you can see, there's already 3 users that have like essentially downloaded the app and made accounts. This is like the default values right here. I'll jump into more of that later, but let's go ahead and create 2 new users. So this is going to be scenario 1. 2 different people, Bob and Joe, make accounts for the app. What happens in Firebase? So we have Bob right here, and let's just say Bob at G, and then we have Joe right here, and then Joe at G. Just real quick, they could type in anything for their name and their email. We don't have any user validation because it really doesn't do anything for the app. So you sign in, then now you see in the console a new user has appeared, and the same thing will happen for Joe. Alrighty, so as you can see, this is what the default features or fields are. An active field, which represents if they're on a team or not, it's set to false. This is the email that they typed in, this is the name, and then their team is blank because they're not on any teams. And another key thing is that they have an invitations collection. And this invitation collection is used for team invites only. And that's how we generate notifications for the user on their phone. Is we have an active listener on this collection, and so whenever a change is made in this database, a notification is created. So let's go ahead and let's jump into. Actually, before that, something that's kind of hidden in plain sight is that's important. Is this team field right here. This team field is extremely crucial because this is how we start another listener for when they're on a team and they have new members and they have invitations for a new route or whatever it may be, because there's a whole teams collection right here where you'll see that Sam and Tom are on a team and they have their different set of scheduled walks, and you don't want every team to see each other's walks or invitations and stuff. So that's how you sort of separate the data. And the reasons why we didn't put put the team within a field or as a collection is because you would be storing multiple um, or duplicate data inside of each user, and that would uh, be a really ineffective way for your database to be managed. Be a very costly move if this was a large scale project. I mean, I'm sure for us it could have worked, but it's efficiency, right? So let's go ahead and jump into scenario 2 where Bob invites Joe to his team. All right, so right now Bob doesn't, as you can see, he doesn't have a team, and there's only one team inside of the teams collection. So this is Bob's. Let's go ahead and add a team member, and let's add the Joe guy. So Joe, and then Joe, that G. And so let's go ahead and look at what happens to Joe's screen. So boom, we see that a notification has been made on Joe's screen, and let's go ahead and click it. You were invited by user Bob at G to team 2. Okay. Do you want to accept this or decline it? So let's go ahead and look at the database. So you'll see that Bob, the guy who invited it, right on the left hand side, his active field changed to true, and this is because in order to send an invitation to somebody for a team invite, you have to have a team first. So what we did is we created a team within this team's collection, right? We looked at the size of the collection, and then we said, you know what, they're just going to be team 2. The size is 1. That's going to be the new team. And we threw Bob at G on it, and then we sent the invitation. So that's his team was also updated, that field, but these remain the same. So let's go ahead and look at Joe's. So Joe, he's also now on team 2, but the key thing is he's not an active member. He's like a pending member, right? And this is important because part of the requirement was you should still be able to see team members within the team screen, but pending members would be in gray, And let's just quickly look at the invitations collection for Joe. As you can see, this is Bob's invite. This is how we generated the notification. This was dropped inside of Joe's collection. And real quick, let's go ahead and check out the database for the members. So this is everybody who's a member of the team, but there's active and pending ones. So let's go ahead and check out how Joe's team screen looks. So, or no, I'm sorry, this is Bob's. So Bob's screen right here, the guy who created the invitation, he is an active member on his team, and he just invited this guy, Joe. Joe has not accepted yet, so he's in gray. His active field is false. But let's go ahead and let's change that. So let's go ahead and accept this invitation and see what happens inside of the database. Yeah. Boom. So we gotta refresh this page. Now, boom. Joe just changed to a new color. It's gonna be green. Yeah. And he's now an active member because he just accepted the invitation. And you'll see that some changes were made in the database when that accept button was hit. We changed the active field to true because he hit accept, right? And there will be one other change in this. It would be Joe's active field changed over here too. And now some of you guys might be wondering, well, what happens when they hit the reject button because they were added to the teams, the team over here, and are they still going to be receiving invitations from this team, and the answer is no. The way that we got around that was we just delete them from this members collection, and they will stop receiving any notification from that team field. And also we will change the active field to false and their team to blank if they reject it. So that's really like what happens in our app with the user UI and the database. We should be able to see, yeah, the changes. Or this is Joe's screen, so Joe's now able to see Bob. And the cool thing is we didn't have to restart the app. We did have to refresh the page. There are ways around that. Our team did not get to that, but it probably would have taken a few more days or a day or something like that. But yeah, that's how the database works, and how multiple devices sort of communicate is through the listeners and collections. So I hope that helps some people out when they're trying to design the database. Firebase could be really difficult, but it's all in the documentation. Really read up on that stuff, and have a good day.